My people, yeah. Welcome to Box Center, yo. The show, episode 5. You already know what it is, my people. We're gonna talk boxing. We're gonna get it in. Let me take my notes right quick. Check it, man. Got some interesting topics to talk about. Hold on. Right from me. Yo, we got some interesting topics to talk about for y'all. This episode 5 is gonna be as good or better than the 4 previous episodes. So check it, my peoples. You already know what it is, man. I'm your connections. I'm your plug, JSmiff. Um, in today's episode, we're gonna be talking about Shakur Stevenson and an update with regard to a situation that he's going through. Tank Davis and his possible future opponent. We're also going to be addressing a prediction that Edgar Berlanga made or has been making about his fight with Canelo this Saturday. And we're also going to talk about Danny Garcia, man. He out there trying to make history. You know, people not really talking about that, but I'm talking about that. So you already know what it is, my people. Let's talk boxing. Yeah. Yeah. So, starting off with the first update, Shakur Stevenson, man, he actually got hurt. He got injured, and it's kind of sad to see it, man, because he was getting prepared to fight Joe Cordina, and he's not gonna fight. Apparently, the injury was bad enough to where Shakur is not gonna fight for the rest of the year. He had to get surgery, and this has been confirmed. Shakur himself posted the picture in a hospital bed, which appears that he had just went through with the surgery. So it looks like that's a procedure that Shakur already went through. And I guess now he's going to have to heal and, go through some type of rehab. So that's a process. But based on what I'm seeing or what I'm hearing, Shakur will not be fighting for the rest of the year. He'll be back in 2025. And I don't know. I don't know if that's going to change as far as who his opponent is going to be. Is it still going to be Joe Cordina? Are there going to be changes? Because if you think about it, Joe Cordina was planning on fighting, and Shakur can't fight. He might be able to get a fight with somebody else. So I guess we have to see how that's going to play out. I guess we have to see how that's going to play out, man. But I'm sad, to see Shakur Stevenson, who was getting ready to make this fight and then get ready for Williams Zepeda afterwards. And now look, they say that he'll be fighting early next year. So that's it. That's, the rest of this year he's going to be inactive. Hopefully, he'll be able to heal correctly. I think it was his right hand that he injured. They don't really specify what type of injury was it, but if he needed surgery, then you know that he got hurt pretty bad. So let's just hope everything can be in good shape for early next year, and we see Shakur back in the ring. At the end of the day, that's what we want. Shakur Stevenson is one of the best talents right now in boxing, one of the best fighters. You want to see him in the ring. You want to see him fighting. So, what you guys think, taking into account that Shakur Stevenson won't fight the rest of the year, right? What do you think Tank Davis is going to do? Is he actually going to fight El Rayo Valenzuela And are we gonna get Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis next year? What if Shakur Stevenson comes back straight to Tank Davis? I know. That's just me with some crazy talk, but you know, I want to see Shakur be able to come back and be able to be healthy. So this happens. What am I listening to? You know, if you think about it, man, injuries, they're part of boxing. Getting hurt is part of the sport. It's just that sometimes, man, somebody is already, getting ready for a showdown, and you're thinking, okay, you're getting amped up about the fight, and then it doesn't happen. NYC Alex Shakur is going in the shelves. I mean, let's see, my guy. Obviously, he's not fighting for the rest of the year. Let's see how soon he can heal, he can recover from his injury, and let's see how it plays out. Let's see how it all plays out, man. So, my peoples, check it. If Shakur Stevenson is not going to fight Joe Cordina next, who is Joe Cordina going to fight? Because he was already planning on fighting Shakur, obviously, and that would have been a title shot for himself. But what happens to him? Is he going to have to stay inactive as well? Is he going to find an opponent? Let's see how that's going to play out for him. Because obviously, if he was going to fight in the better BF Bevo undercard, and now Shakur is injured, I'm pretty sure he still wants to fight on that card. So let's see. Joe Cordina, I agree, Alex. He got to stay in the mix. Got to do it. So, my people, check this out. Check this out right quick. Let's move on to the next topic. Tank Davis versus Rayo Valenzuela. So, there's been a lot of back and forth on social media about that fight simply because Rayo Valenzuela, or I guess someone from his team, said that he wasn't going to be ready to fight until February of next year. He wanted to take a break. However, Tank Davis and his team, they want to fight in November of this year. So there's been a lot of speculation on social media that, maybe Tank and Rayo were not going to be able to come to an agreement for that reason because of the time frame. And now recently it's being reported that yes, they're close to, you know, making it happen, closing a deal to fight on November 2nd. So we may actually get that fight. And I gotta tell you what, my people, I personally love that fight. I see a lot of people discrediting El Rayo Valenzuela. Um, what's good, Uncle Stewie? Yeah, man, YouTube, man, they doing me like that. They not sending no notifications out for me, man. You're not the first one to tell me that. I'm swimming against the current, but we doing it anyways. They can't stop me. Let's get it, my boy. But yeah, man, Tank Davis is looking like he will be fighting El Rayo Valenzuela. And I expect that to be a competitive fight, man. I don't know why so many people are acting like El Rayo is a hype job or he's overrated yo, this dude's a champion who just beat Pitbull Cruz. Like, what is it that you need to see to give this guy credit, to acknowledge that he's legit? So, Rayo Valenzuela is the real deal. Holy shit. I can't I can't believe that there's people out there who don't see that as a real good fight. That's a real good fight. Hold on, my people. Let me DJ this real quick. El Rayo Valenzuela, my people, versus Tank Davis. That's a real good fight, yo. Like I'm excited. Like I want to see that fight. So I was super surprised. What the hell is this? I was super surprised, yo, when I started to see people saying, "Oh, Rayo, yo, people call Rayo a cherry pick. Like, yo, what's wrong with you calling that man a cherry pick? A world champion? We're at that level that we're calling Rayo Valenzuela a world champion, a cherry, just because Tank is going to fight him? Come on. Let's keep it 100. So listen, sticking with Tank by KO, that's all good because Tank is gonna be the favorite, and he's a knockout puncher, right? But just because you favor Tank to knock him out, that doesn't mean that you have to discredit Rayo and say that he a hype job or a bum. Like this dude is a legitimate champion. He has been dropped, but that's the point. Yo, most world champions in history have been dropped. Muhammad Ali was dropped. Come on now, bro. Like, being dropped doesn't take away from your greatness. El Rayo Valenzuela beat a world champion in Pitbull Cruz. And he deserved his credit for that. And I don't know if you saw my video, but I also picked El Rayo Valenzuela to. Well, no. I'm not going to say I straight up picked him. I said if it goes the distance, he could beat Pitbull. That's what I said. Which is exactly what happened. You know why? Because I felt like he had the skills, the tools and resources to put hands and feet on Pitbull. I saw it. So while so many people were just saying Pitbull was gonna knock him out because, he's been dropped, Rayo been stopped, so Pitbull's gonna knock him out. Look what happened. Look at the way that it played out. So Rayo Valenzuela shocked a lot of people. He didn't shook me up. I wasn't shocked. I was like, oh man, I told ya he got the skills to do what he did. Now, Tank Davis versus Rayo Valenzuela is not a done deal, but, it's buzzing like it's close to them announcing it basically. Let's see how that plays out. Like I said, man, I personally look forward to seeing that fight. That's me. I mean, I don't know why you would say that people don't got KO power. He has a high KO percentage, and I think Rolly would disagree with you. Tell Rolly people don't got KO power. Rolly would be like, nah, yo, he got KO power. He had Rolly dancing salsa. Somebody about to figure Tank out. You're right. He beat a lot of dehydrated fighters. I won't take that from you. Let's see, because at the 140 division, which is where we're assuming he's gonna fight Rayo for his title, I think that the rehydration clause is something that may come into play. 10, they might not be able to go 10 pounds over the 140, something like that. Oh, you're right about that. That payday, you fight Tank Davis, you're getting a good payday. But it's like I told you, if he moves up to 140 to fight Rayo, I'm guessing that there will be some type of rehydration clause. Because you got to remember, if he's moving up to 140, he's probably going to want them to stay at or below 150 for fight night. And listen, that's just me guessing. That's just me guessing. By the way, my peoples, Box Center, you already know what it is, man. Your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. Don't be cheap with that like button. Don't be cheap. Hit that like button. And of course, man, subscribe to this channel. You're going to get the best boxing content out, the most creative. I'm your connections, my peoples. I'm your plug. Join the Box Center family, my peoples. Come along for this ride and see what's going to happen. Um, yo, Frank Martin definitely looked way drained. Yo, he looked like Pookie from New Jack City. That's how he looked. Um, but again, man, let's see if Tank Davis moves up to fight Rayo at the 140 division. Is there gonna be a rehydration clause, or Rayo and his team are they gonna say no, no rehydration clause? And you want to fight for this title, you're gonna have to take it like this. We gonna we gonna weigh 140 at the weigh-in, and then we can weigh whatever we want afterwards. Let's see how that's gonna play out, because I tell you what, if there is a rehydration clause, that's going to be a big topic of conversation leading up to the fight. And already people are gonna say Rayo's gonna be weak. They're gonna start that narrative right away that Tank is gonna win because he was dehydrated. So that's a topic that will be a hot button topic if it happens. Why don't Benavides come back down? That's a great question. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Benavides is he's a real big dude, and at 168 he was struggling to make 168. Bad. The only reason, and he said it himself, the only reason Benavides stayed at 168 for so long is because he was hoping to get a shot versus Canelo Álvarez. That's it right there. He wanted to see if he could get that Canelo fight. And it never happened. So eventually he was like, yo, I can't handle it anymore. That's it. My body can't take it no more. You gotta remember, fighters, as they start to get older, and Benavides is not old, but I think he's like what, 29, 30. As you start getting to 30, 31, as you start getting to that age, yo, it's harder to make weight, especially when you're a bigger guy. Like, for example, that's how I knew that Devin Haney couldn't stay at 135 for much longer, because he was a big kid, sucking himself down, no diddy, to make 135. And a lot of fighters, they really end up moving up because they just can't make weight anymore. And I believe Benavides, he was struggling and sacrificing a lot to make that 168 limit. So he decided to move up. Like, yo, that's it. Let's get out of here. I don't think we'll ever see Benavides at 168 again. I don't think so. Um, my peoples, let's move on to the next one, my peoples. Let's move on to the next topic, man. Let me get that like, hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe, yo. Let's move on to the next topic real quick for you. Hold on. Yo, Edgar Berlanga predicts that he's going to knock Canelo out in the 6th round. What y'all think about that? Edgar Berlanga says he's going to knock Canelo out in the 6th round. Is he saying that because he believe it? Or is he just talking? I mean, he looks confident. I'll tell you that right now. I'm watching the interview, and he said that multiple times to different people. You know, I saw an interview where Fat Joe is saying it, like, yo, he told me he's gonna knock Canelo out in the 6th round. And now I seen another interview where he's like in the 6th round. So he's sticking to it. He's sticking to his guns about knocking Canelo out in the 6th round. What you think, Uncle Stewie? That's impossible? My peoples, you already know what it is, man. Don't be cheap with that like button. Subscribe to Box Center, yo. Join the Box Center family, my peoples. We on the come up. Join the Box Center family. Come on with this ride and see where we going with it, my peoples. I'm your connections. If you love boxing, I'm your plug. I mean, part of the reason why people want to fight Canelo is the payday. We have to acknowledge it. Some of these people will make a payday that they'll be able to retire. That's it. I could retire right now and be good. So obviously the payday is important, but there are fighters who believe they could beat him. And you got to remember also, Canelo's I think 34 years old. So as he starts to age, there's gonna be more people thinking that they could beat him. Like, he's probably lost a step by now, and I could beat him. So you're gonna see, more and more people feeling like they could take him on. However, you gotta remember, Canelo seems to have at most two to three fights left in his career. At most. So we have to see because everybody can't win the Canelo sweepstake and get that payday. Terrence Crawford is trying to get that payday, but guess what? He got an advantage in that sweepstake. His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh already said that he wants that fight. And he's already been in communication with Canelo's team about it. In fact, Canelo says something along the lines of, once he gets done with Berlanga, he's willing to visit negotiations with His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh. So that's why I asked, if Canelo gets past Berlanga, does he fight Terrence Crawford afterwards? Should he fight Terrence Crawford afterwards? But again, my peoples, you cannot overlook Edgar Berlanga. Why? I myself predicted that Canelo was going to sleep him by or before the 10th round. That's my prediction. However, I'm telling you cannot overlook this man. Um, he's an undefeated fighter. He's very talented. He can fight. He got power. So, Edgar Berlanga, he's not a hype job. He's not a bum. He can fight. So it's not like Canelo's just going to go in there and wash him. That's why I'm predicting a late stoppage because they're going to bang it out. And, Edgar Berlanga is going to give Canelo some teams to think about. Believe that. Now, you know how Canelo does with the body work. He's going to be digging to the body consistently and throughout. And I believe that slowly but surely he's going to break him down. And by or before the 10th is going to be a wrap. Like Reynolds. But you already see it. Edgar Berlanga is predicting a 6th round KO. Now what's going to happen in the 7th round, in the 8th, the 9th, the 10th? I don't know, man. But I'm telling y'all that he's going to get folded. Once he get past the 6th, and he didn't get no knockout, and he's been taking some shots to the liver, they're going to deliver him to the canvas. That's how I see it. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a shot to the body or a left hook, a brutal left hook. It could be. You got it in the 9th. I got Canelo sleeping him in the 10th or before, so it could be the 9th. Do you got the stoppage coming via a body shot or a head shot? How do you got that stoppage? Like I said, man, I personally, I got Canelo stopping him by or before the 10th, but I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how that happens. But I definitely got a stoppage. That's for sure. My people, check it. Let's move on to the fourth topic of today's episode. Yo, start this topic off with the magic question. Ooh, the knockout coming to the head of Edgar Berlanga. Probably a left hook, I'm guessing. Um, Start this segment off with the magic question, y'all. Will Danny Garcia make history on Saturday? People not really talking about Danny Garcia versus Erislandis Lara. But that's a championship fight. And those are two top notch, elite level fighters. Danny Garcia is a multi-division champion. Erislandis Lara is a champion. Matter of fact, yo, this fight, if it was on another date, this is a main event. Garcia versus Lara is a main event. And we're going to get it on the undercard. Yo, Danny Garcia right now is a two-division champion. If he wins, he's going to become a three-division champion. Just to join that list. Now, this is a classic case of the puncher versus the boxer. You know, Danny Garcia got that power, got that left hook that can fold anybody, feel like flush. But then again, you got Erislandis Lara, who got that exceptionally high boxing IQ, that footwork, that reach, that jab, that movement. But to this day, there's people who say he beat Canelo Álvarez. Till this day, people say, yo, Lara beat Canelo. So that right there tells you where his boxing IQ is at. So when you have the boxer versus the puncher, it's a classic matchup. Danny is going to have his work cut out for him. Why? Because Lara has that height and reach advantage. He got that footwork. But then again, Lara knows he got to look out for that power. He know he got to look out for that left hook. He knows if Danny get inside on him, he got to be careful to his change. That's the thing about Danny Garcia, yo. He's the type of fighter that if you trade with him on the inside, you gambling. You is gambling, son. Because if you get clipped with that left hook, you may go to sleep. So Erislandis Lara, I know that he's going to be, you know, he's a very smart fighter. Like I said, man, he has a very high ring IQ. And he's going to be on the lookout for that left hook. He's going to be on the lookout for Danny's aggressiveness. But, you know, can you stay on your toes for 12 rounds and avoid that power? We're going to see. We're going to see. My peoples, you already know what it is, man. Hit that like button. Box Center is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Don't forget to subscribe, yo. Remember, Mondays through Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, JSmiff is live. Monday through Fridays. Plus, my peoples, the fights, I do fight night. You know, I do round by round reactions. You know I'm going to be live for the Canelo versus Berlanga fight. Of course I'm going to be live. Garcia wins, goes the distance. Let's see, man. I've had a lot of people tell me that Lara's going to win that fight on points. I had a lot of people tell me that. That Lara's going to use his height, his reach, and you know, be successful keeping him on the outside. I haven't made a prediction about that fight yet. simply because it's hard to predict that fight, man. Like I said, it's the classic case of the puncher versus the boxer, and when that happens, and they're both top level guys, it's a tough call. Okay, then, so if nobody is getting knocked out, then they go in the distance. That's what that means. They're not going. Nobody getting knocked out. They go in the distance. So who's gonna win on the cards? Yo, it is Landis Lara can box, bro. Danny Garcia is gonna have his work cut out for him if he's gonna beat Lara on the cards. But again, he's trying to make history. He's trying to win a title in a third division. I know that he's gonna be out there giving his all, and let's see how it's gonna play out. We gotta see it. My peoples, you already know what it is, man. I want to thank you for joining me. If you haven't hit that like button, don't be cheap with that like button. Hit that like button. Join the Box Center family. Subscribe. Again, yo, Mondays through Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We on it. Box Center, the show, my peoples. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. It's for a reason I'm telling you this. Stay tuned. Join the Box Center family. Subscribe. And get this real boxing content, yo. Y'all gotta go check out the videos that's already up. We got a lot of great content. We're doing this for you, my peoples. We on the come up. Join the Box Center family and come up with us. Um, this Saturday we are gonna be going live for the Canelo versus Berlanga fight. I'm gonna be giving y'all a reaction, like I told y'all. I'm expecting Canelo to stop him by or before the 10th round. Those are my expectations. Now Edgar Berlanga says that he's gonna stop Canelo in the 6th. Somebody's wrong about what's gonna happen, and we're gonna find out who. I don't think Canelo versus Berlanga goes the distance. I don't see it going to the cards. So somebody getting slept. Somebody getting folded. We just gotta find out who it is. Y'all already know, my peoples. Like I told y'all before, man, this is something different right here. This is something new. Box Center is on like nothing you've seen before. You ain't seen nothing like this before, my people. So get this boxing content for real over here. Random thought, Haney, Super Elite just doesn't have a chin. Tank has a hell of, that's one thing, yo. Tank, he has a hell of a chin, and that's what's gonna make him difficult to beat. Because, not only can he hit really, really hard, but he can take a punch. So because he could take a punch, that gives him an advantage because he could sit in the pocket and trade leather with anybody. He gonna take your shot. Are you gonna take his? So that's one thing about Deb. He's been hurt. He's been stunned multiple times, and you saw what happened with Ryan Garcia. Tank Davis. That's why Tank. He. It has to be like a boxer to actually beat him. Someone who can outbox him. The only one I see doing that is Shakur Stevenson. You know, you're not gonna be Tank going, toe to toe, blow for blow. Listen, AJ, I'm gonna tell you like this: AJ versus Wilder is a fight that a lot of people aren't even interested in anymore. Like that's the type of fight. If it happens, I'll watch it. But I'm not even asking for it no more because Wilder is on such a decline that at this point I think AJ is just gonna have his way with him. Like I think if AJ and Wilder fight now, AJ would absolutely pummel him. Pummel him. And it would be a brutal knockout. Or as they would say in the UK, a brutal knockout. Quite brutal. So that's a fight, man, that That's a fight that honestly I don't even want to see, man. I don't want to see the Bronze Bomber go out like that. You know, getting knocked out brutally. I don't want to see it for real. um, so my people, check this out, man. We're gonna end the show right here, and if you haven't hit that like button, if you haven't subscribed, I feel like knocking you out brutally, brutal, but I won't. Keep watching, and you're gonna feel like subscribing eventually. If you don't subscribe now, the next show is gonna make you wanna subscribe. That's why you might as well do it now, my people. But you already know what it is. JSmiff in the flesh. This is Box Center, the show, episode 5. Yo, I appreciate y'all joining me. You know, shout out to Uncle Stewie and the rest of the gang that always come in to show me love. Appreciate you guys. You already know what it is, man. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We going to get it in. No Diddy. Peace.